canoe. Welcome to my Grand Cayman adventure, this time joined by my trusty sidekick, Karen. So I referred to this in the opening as Grand Cayman for Dummies, and the reason I did that was because essentially Karen and I really winged this. We started looking at a vacation destination, I don't know, probably about 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago. Didn't know anything about Grand Cayman, didn't know anything about the islands. We just knew we wanted to spend about 4 or 5 hours traveling south of New England and find a place that we could spend 5 nights. So Grand Cayman was what we decided upon. Essentially because you can get a direct flight there. They got a major airport right there on the island. We flew from Boston. We did one stopover in Fort Lauderdale, hopped over to Grand Cayman, quick flight, did a direct on the way home. Which was under 4 hours, so that was fantastic. And on top of that, was relatively inexpensive. Tickets were 400 and something for each of us, so not a big deal. I'll get more into lodging in a little bit, but the other reasons that we decided on Grand Cayman was, well, the aforementioned inexpensive. Just about everything you want to do on the island is free, which is snorkeling. So you go there for the great snorkeling, the great diving, and the other thing is everybody on the island is super friendly. They love having you there. Food was fantastic. What else? The weather was almost 100% predictable. Every single day was a high temperature of 85 and sunny, and the nights were, I don't know, probably upper 70s, mostly dry. Every once in a while we'd have a quick rain shower come through. Not a big deal. Finally, I just also wanted to give a huge shout out to Red Sail Sports. They were fantastic, but we'll get to that. I think we did that day 4, maybe day 5. So anyway, without further ado, welcome to the Grand Cayman adventure. So Karen and I decided to stay at the Sea Lodges of Cayman Kai. Once again, we were kind of shooting darts on this one. We didn't really know much about the island going into this, but we're pretty happy with our choice. So here's the little bungalow that we got. So sleeps 900 square feet, about $200 a night. Just absolutely beautiful, right there on the water. Prevailing winds on the island come in from the northeast, so anything on the north side or the east side is going to have a little bit of rough water. Now the entire island is surrounded by a barrier reef, so that essentially prevents any really large surf from hitting the island. So here you can see Karen doing some snorkeling right offshore, and we found this lovely little reef structure right off the shore. And we saw all kinds of life there. We saw lionfish, saw an eel, saw all kinds of stuff. Most of the things I probably couldn't identify anyway. So anyway, we're very happy with our choice of Cayman Kai for day 1. And sorry, for the entire vacation actually, but we did spend the majority of day 1 just kind of like exploring the area. So enjoy. Towards the end of the first day on the island, we decided to take a drive over to Spots Beach on the south side of the island. The reason for that? Well, we read online and we saw some YouTube videos that 4 to 6 p.m. on Spots Beach it becomes a turtle hotspot. Spots Beach did not disappoint. Absolutely beautiful. Could not have been happier with it. Anyway, here's some footage from the late afternoon. here we are at Governor's Beach. There's Karen right ahead of me, and that dark spot by the buoy out there, that's where we're headed. So, beautiful coral reef out there. So, Karen has her noodle, she should be happy. Yeah, this don't suck. This is pretty amazing. So, and that catamaran right there, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow, Red Sail Sports. So, gonna go see stingrays, that should be fun. So I'm the furthest thing from being an adept snorkeler. So when we were reading about Governor's Beach the night before, it said that there was a 5 to 10 minute swim to get out to the reef. So for the most part, I mean, you're buoyant, you're sitting there, you know, you're laying down on top of the water and you're flopping around. But yeah, you can get a little tired swimming out there. So anyway, we did get out there, and the first time we went out, Karen was a little nervous due to some winds and not waves or current or anything, but she just didn't feel all that secure. So I ran out at lunchtime and bought her a swim noodle, and that made all the difference in the world. Once we had that, it was just absolutely beautiful out there on the reef. I probably spent 4 hours floating around on the reef that day, and oh my goodness, some fabulous footage that I got. And honestly, this footage doesn't even do it justice. It really is just an amazing other world that you get to experience, and there's no charge at the gate. As a matter of fact, there is no gate. That's a total lie. You just drive right in, and there's probably 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot. This is not what I'm used to as a New Englander. So whatever these fish were, I think they're probably fed by local fishermen or local snorkelers, because these little guys would follow me everywhere. Anyway, curious little guys. Day 3 started with a quick trip over to Starfish Beach. Hey, what can I say? You can't win them all. Kind of lame. I'm sure that this was a beautiful spot at one point. I mean, it is still a beautiful spot, but as far as like the namesake goes, Starfish Beach. So probably saw about a dozen of them while I was there. Not a huge attraction, but anyway, definitely worth a look. Wow.
It's the holidays and he's kind of orange.
Alright, so I don't want to say this out loud, but I read somewhere that these things can reproduce by themselves. They're asexual. So we drove all the way to the other side of the island to spend the afternoon at Stingray Beach after Starfish Beach was kind of a bust. Anyway, we were not disappointed. Absolutely amazing snorkeling out there. It was a little bit windy that afternoon, so Karen got a little freaked out when she got too far from shore. But we found amazing snorkeling right next to shore, just a little bit further down the beach. And when I say down, I mean south. Anyway, just absolutely beautiful. Driving across the island is always an adventure for an American boy. They drive on the left over there, and we were just laughing about this the whole time because the windshield wiper and the directional are on the wrong side of the steering column. So every time I went to go turn, being on the left side of the road wasn't difficult enough. I would actually always turn the wipers on as well. So by the time I got back to the States, I was so fully adept that I was making the same mistake on the road in Boston. So go figure. Anyway, enjoy the footage. We certainly enjoyed our several hours at Stingray Beach. On day 4, we headed right up the road to Rum Point from our place at the Sea Lodges in Cayman Kai. Probably about a 5-minute trip. But anyway, this was like the most touristy thing that we did during the entire week. So we visited Stingray City. And yeah, you know, it's an eye roll whenever you do something touristy and everybody else is doing it as well. But wow, was this an experience. Definitely worth doing for sure. Also, huge shout out to Red Sail Sports. These guys are consummately professional. They give you a great time out there on the boat. They give you a real party atmosphere. You know, they obviously are looking out for your safety. But you walk through Rum Point and you go out to the end of the dock, and there's a glass bottom boat right there. I think it was like maybe $50 a person, so $100 for Karen and I for the 2-hour trip. I think it's advertised as 90 minutes, but it was probably closer to 2 hours altogether. Anyway, if you've never done anything like this before, put it on your bucket list. Definitely worth doing. Sail. What's this again? The glass bottom boat? Red Sail.
Yes.
All right.
Fat bottom girls on the glass bottom.
Yeah. This don't suck, huh?
Number 19, and Wavered.
Thank you very much, sir. Surrender back, standby.
Top dog, sundown.
So here they are, these majestic little creatures. These are the stingrays. So the big ones are the females, and the little guys are the males. Go figure. What about the stingers, you might ask? What was that guy? Croc hunter. Got killed by one. So these are, first and foremost, not the same specimen. But on top of that, you really got to antagonize these guys. They love having the people out there. So they have a very symbiotic relationship with both the tourists and the tour guides. So they're fed daily by these folks. And they love their squid. So you can see them. For the most part, they're like cats. They're swimming underneath your feet. They're just looking for food. So incredibly friendly, incredibly docile. Once again, definitely worth going out there and checking these guys out.
Anybody else want to kiss? Take a photo with the stingray? 7 years ago. There you go.
Karen, over here. Yeah, you just put it underwater. So let him smell it.
Ready, Mom? Sunshine. In the water. Put it underwater.
Oh, wow.
Go around the other side. You're gonna get both of you gonna get in between the captain, yeah. All right.
You guys ready to push your hands under?
Kiss the stingray. 7 years. Good luck. Come on, guys. Kiss the stingray. 7 years. Good luck. Hold it. All right.
It's got a little bug on it.
Yeah. Throw it high, throw it high. Throw it high.
Oh! Good job. Good job.
Honey, let's see angels. Honey, you think you got a flock of them. And not birds.
Like I don't have enough good things to say about Red Sail Sports. On the way back to the dock, took a little bit of a detour and spent a half hour snorkeling over one of the most beautiful reefs I've ever seen out there. Anyway, enjoy some of the footage. On day 5, our final day on the island, not even a final full day as we had a flight to catch around 5 o'clock that day, we spent the afternoon at Macabuca, which is a lovely restaurant on the very northern tip on, let's see, northwest side of the island. And the snorkeling there is absolutely fabulous. The coral reef structure comes right up to the edge of the shoreline, as you can see there. And they got a ladder that goes right into the water, so a lot of divers you'll find in that site. I managed to see a shark that day. Be super careful, the surf can get a little bit rough right here. Karen actually got thrown into a little bit of the coral reef section. But what a better way to end this trip than with a minor injury. So anyway. And finally, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the food on the island. So when we first got to the island, we stopped at the airport grocery store right down the street from the airport. We got about $150 worth of groceries, which for the most part lasted us the entire week. We did go out to a few restaurants along the way, and the ones worth mentioning and the ones we were very happy with was, let's see, Macabuca, loved that. Had some fabulous diving right off, snorkeling right off the shore. And let's see, what else? Over the Edge, I think I went there 3 times. Fabulous food, very honest people. Left my credit card there. Oopsie. Let's see, we also stopped at a place called Tuca on the very east side of the island. Absolutely loved that. Beautiful views, beautiful food, beautiful drinks. Couldn't go wrong. And finally, we also stopped at this roadside bar called the Check-In. And we had a fabulous bartender. We kept passing it on the road, and we decided, hey, we got to check this place out. So, anyway, between those 4 restaurants and the grocery store, we were well fed for the week, and now it's time to diet. Okay, take care. Thanks for listening in.